Hey there, what is up, plant community? Green Thumb here. So today's video is going to be on my Cycads. Um, I actually did one take, but I messed up at the end with my speech. I was like, I'm not going to post that. Just to know if I sound a little weird or whatever. I, I have a hard time talking, so, you know. That and I have ADHD, so I kind of get distracted sometimes, and that's what happened at the end. So I had to do a whole retake. So, anyways, guys. Cycads. I promised I'd give you guys an update on my Cycads, and I never have. And I need to do it because I don't really have that big of a collection. And, living in an apartment like I'm at, I can't really have a big collection of plants. Only thing I can have is plants I love the most, and if those collections get too big, then I either gotta make room for them or get rid of them. So I try to stick with the more prehistoric, slow-growing specimens of plants I really like. So here is my Japanese cycad. It is known as a sago palm, but I call them a Japanese cycad. So here we could see that it still has damage, which it's going to, from the cold from last year on all the older fronds, which I'm fully expecting that, it's going to happen, especially if you got them in a pot and not in the ground. A guy I know, Indie Palms, actually has one in the ground. I think all he did was throw lights on it and did just fine, but, I keep mine outside in a pot, just so if it gets down to freezing, I can just take it in and cover it up that way, but, yeah, and, if we notice that these newer fronds here, these newer fronds are kind of stunted. And they're stunted because I was keeping it in a nice decorative terracotta pot. And it just kind of stunted its growth because it was already really well rooted within that pot. So I had to get it out. I put it in a plastic pot just because it'd be easier to get this specimen out if I wanted to grow healthy and grow quite big. If we look, we can see that in this crown shaft too, it's widening more. So if we look in there, we can see some starts. I'm not sure if you guys see that very well, but we can see some starts of what looks like potential new fronds. Of course, it's been warm enough here in Indiana to get those fronds really growing, to get some new fronds, so, which is quite unusual for us here, around this time of the year. Right now, we should be really, the highs should only be in the 60s to 50s, not like in the 80s, that's quite unusual for us. But yeah, love this guy. I'll probably attempt to zone push him again in the pot. Again, only protecting him if it's frost, or protecting them if it gets down to freezing. Of course, I've also debated where if it does get down to frost, just buying frost cloth and just putting it on it and just keeping it outside, saving me the hassle from taking them in and out, in and out, in and out like I do every year. And of course, I do that just to keep the health of my plants because I grow other things just besides palms and bananas and cycads. So yeah, he's doing good, doing healthy. That's thickened up a bit, so that's always good. Definitely want to keep him growing. And when the fronds are stunted like that, that tells me one or two things. Because I did not mess with the roots, unlike what you'll see with the next cycad. And so that there told me right away, since these are about a few inches smaller than these, that yeah, it got stunted growth and needed to be a repot. It can happen to the same with palms, so that's a thing to keep in mind. My next cycad over here is my rare Dioun spinulosum. I have yet to meet another person with this specimen. Sorry about that, guys. Hybrid mitzbus there. But yeah, I have yet to meet another person with a Dioun spinulosum. I know a person with a Dioun edual, but not a Dioun spinulosum. And the guy who has it, he kept wanting to trade me for a Diune spinulosum. It was just simple plants that I can easily replace. You can't replace a Diune spinulosum, you know. But yeah, it's doing good. We got some old fronds there that are kind of damaged, but if we look, we do got some of the newer fronds, and the newer fronds are surprisingly stunted. And I think the reason why these fronds here are particularly stunted is because of the simple fact that, well, I kind of had to mess with the roots to get it out of the pot because the soil within that is sunk, and it's sunk significantly. So I was kind of bad for the plant, so I wanted to raise it up more to give it more room within the pot, so that way it can grow and start forming a healthy trunk. But yeah, within doing that, it stunted some of the fronds, and they say you're not supposed to mess with the roots of a Diune spinulosum, but you know, what was I to do if I was to repot this guy? And of course, I put little flowers around it, little succulent flowers that would last in drought. So yeah, that's always good. Add a little bit more interest to it. And then over here in my small little Cycad collection, we have my Mexican Cycad, native to places of Mexico. Funny thing though is that they're actually back off, wasp. Okay, sorry about that, guys, and sorry if the camera was shaky then. But funny thing, as I was saying about these cycads here, is they're endangered in like their native habitat, but like in Florida, these guys are like invasive. Weird how that happens, but yeah, so they're endangered in Florida. I mean, in Florida. My bad. Sorry, guys. It's been a day. They're endangered in Mexico. And if you guys remember in my previous video, this guy was real thick and he had like 3 trunks. Well, I had to split him up because I just was not able to fit in 3 trunks if I have to store this guy, you know. I'm just not able to do that. That's not realistic for me where I live. You know, one of these guys is fine. One is all I needed. And they had 3 in there. And, you know, the price was really good, so I was like, why not? But to have 3 of them, no, I couldn't. It was too thick. Wind was blowing it over constantly. I was using more soil. So, yeah, that was just a no-go for me. I just could not. So, yeah, this is what I'm left with. One happy specimen. I am happy with him. He is healthy. He automatically went outside and did not burn. I definitely watched him. And when they had him, they could not figure out why all the fronds were falling. And tell you probably why the fronds is fallen is because, well, it was in the shade, and I'm sure where they're at, they receive direct sunlight all the time, all day, so the soil never dried out like it should have. Plus, it was root bound, really root bound, and yeah, they just, I don't know, that soil seemed to kind of hold on to a bit more moisture when I was dealing with it, but if we look now, it's absolutely healthy. And we could see, all right, guys, sorry about that, but we could see where potentially there's going to be new fronds coming out. So that there tells me alone that, yeah, even though I split this guy up, you know, he's going to be completely healthy and happy. Now, the one over here that I did split up isn't doing so well, but I have hope for it because we could see what looks like here maybe potential for new fronds coming out. So I'm holding out hope for it because I would love to absolutely give this guy to the conservatory within Muncie. Um, just for the simple fact that they are endangered in the wild, and maybe they can manage to pollinate if they could determine if it's a female or a male cycad, and maybe find another conservatory where they can pollinate them and introduce them back into the wilds of Mexico, so that way their population could go back up. But yes, cycads are usually slow growing, so yeah. yeah, I'm still trying to learn a lot more about cycads myself, so they're a prehistoric species I really love to explore. But yeah, as far as I know, that's really all I have for you guys. Sorry about that, guys. Uh, Loud noises. My brother came out and decided to shake his shoes out. But anyways, yeah, that's really all I got for you guys on my small Cycad collection. Of course, it ain't nothing grand or anything like that because, I live in an apartment, and that's one reason why I had to split this guy up because I just ain't got the room for him because I grow more things than just palms. I like a lot of plants, so I really don't have a favorite. But yeah, otherwise than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, definitely keep it real and keep it tropical.